Good morning. Saturday, November 26, 2022, here in Sarasota, Florida. Today's little video is going to be an attempt to give a little bit more of a description of what it is my little company of me is. What is it that I'm doing? It's not often that this happens, but every once in a while, somebody out there stumbles upon one of my videos. I had one of these said people stumble upon one of the most recent videos I've done and actually provided a comment and asked, I'm trying, but like, I don't get it. What is it that you do? And they actually were genuinely asking. And I really appreciate that because while more than a handful have said this over the past decade, many more feel this and don't even have the courage to express it or to ask me to even attempt to explain it. So it was a really good exercise for me to try to provide a thoughtful response. And this is what I came up with. And I feel it's appropriate and perfect to read. This person's name was Alexander. So I said in response to his question, "What is it that you do?" the following. "Hey, Alexander, the truth is, I can't really explain it succinctly yet, other than to say I've been living it for a decade. It is partly taking myself and all of my experiences, knowledge, and skill sets out into the world as my product. It is part teacher, coach, with sharing the lessons I've learned along the way. It is part service as a connector, what I have termed being an energy scout, matching people to opportunities throughout all of my networks. It is part helping people and businesses that have an interest in doing so to settle less for things comprising their lives and businesses that they do not truly desire. It is part investing into others with the knowledge and belief that helping others is helping ourselves. And it is part holding a vision for a very different version of reality and working to bring words to the vision, but more so to bring the vision into physical manifestation. In the upcoming weeks, I will be laying out two specific frameworks that will serve as mediums through which I can share stories and lessons learned, specifically from the past decade. Simultaneously, I hope to redo my website, finish my first book, and bring further explanation to a dream project. And then I put in parentheses the website for that dream project, which is ripple2020.world. A website that is live and that anyone can go visit at this moment to get a feel for what it is that comprises the bigger vision, I would say. And my latest effort, my latest iteration of working to try to figure out a way to achieve that by meeting the world where it is. So that's at ripple2020.world. And there's a lot of filling in the gaps that I'm able to do on that website. And I'm not saying that that project will ever find the light of day, but I do know that as I continue to take steps with it where it's at, it will guide me to what, if anything, is intended to happen with it down the line. You are most certainly not alone in not being able to figure it out. My channel, referencing my YouTube channel, has been primarily a sharing of my spiritual awakening story. There is much more to my vision than that, and I have every intention that within a few months, it may be a tad clearer what it is I am doing. But until I get there, I know very few will be drawn to pay attention. I thank you for even trying to understand. And to finish up this video, I made a short list of, and again, this is all part of what I will represent more accurately and thoroughly on my revamped website, which I'm hoping to have completed in early 2023. But I wanted to identify areas that we, if we look in what I refer to as the mainstream world of work, the following areas we can find people that make their full-time careers, their full-time living, doing these particular things, and how I'm not looking to make my full-time living doing just any one of these, but instead presenting myself as a conglomerate of having all of these skill sets and wanting and desiring and being able to utilize those in different opportunities that come to me as interest out there may find a match with the skill set. So first one, as I mentioned, I was a teacher in the classroom, albeit for only 2 years, but I have a master's degree in education, and I taught 6th grade geography for 2 years. We pay teachers full-time salaries to teach our children in our schools. I'm not looking to make a full-time salary with my teaching, my unique things that I think I'm able to teach, but without doubt, I have that ability and those skill sets to create presentations, to create workshops, to create lessons, if and when there was a recipient out there wanting and desiring those particular skill sets that I have. We see people that make their full-time careers out of being motivational speakers, inspirational speakers. Again, I'm not looking to make a full-time living off of being an inspirational speaker, but I have the ability to do that. Now, right now, people in my life, many of whom used to tell me how inspirational I was, again, as I said, the more authentic I get, the more I start sharing what my opinions and beliefs and thoughts are. All of a sudden, people that used to like me, people that used to think I was inspirational, are now going to find themselves triggered, threatened, all of a sudden their opinions. And how do I, why do I say this? Because this is what I've experienced. It's amazing to me how much kudos I used to get from people before I took my efforts into the phase that they've been in for a decade, trying to make myself and be my own boss and negotiate for this value in a way that I didn't do before. And before, I just gave my all to absolutely everything, left it all on the court, if you will. Oftentimes was meeting or doing the work of 2 employees with anything that I ever attempted, bringing my positivity and my energy, and was told time and time again how much my energy positively affected people, how inspirational I was. Yet, interestingly, as I've sort of attempted to take myself out there, representing myself in my own company first, instead of being a employee of someone else's company with those same skill sets, it's almost like radio silence has taken place. It's been a hard and confusing part of the journey in the past 10 years. But I know that I have the ability to inspire for a certain audience. And if and when I find a matching need out there or want to utilize that aspect of me, that is also available. We pay coaches and therapists. Well, whether we're talking about athletic coaches or whether we're talking about life coaches. I'm not a big fan of that term life coach, but I do know that, again, in my unofficial capacity of just being me, ever since I was a young kid, people have found solace and found peace, or found, they felt safe with me, expressing their deepest things, their biggest dreams, their dark secrets. People felt safe speaking to me. I was that friendly ear for all of this life. I have the ability to serve in that capacity. I'm hesitant to put myself out there in that regard, because a lot of times what I've experienced is that it's like it provides almost this innate hierarchy. Anybody that's serving in a role of teacher or coach, it seems to be better than, and I do not ever want to come across as better than. But we all are teachers and students. I do have that ability to be in that role for certain people at certain times. And that will represent something on my website that I will be available to be used for in exchange of value. We pay people to manage money, to be investors, private equity firms, investment bankers, people that, venture capitalists. There are people out there that are paid to scout out investment opportunities and to simply be the middle people to manage that whole process. This obviously a little bit more difficult right now in my life to show what my capacity I believe that I have, but that's where it comes into play, this idea of being an energy scout, this idea of working to find and be have these collaborative opportunities and working to match people to opportunities. Because when I go out in my various networks, I listen and I pay attention when people are speaking about what they wish they could be doing, what makes their heart soar. I listen to other people or observe what their needs are. And I'm constantly looking for ways to match people with opportunities that help meet their heart's desires, and to match people who are already pursuing their heart's desires but find that they need different resources, to find the ways to find the win-wins. This isn't exactly management of investment, but this is a very big part of what I see my desire in wanting to be with my company, a part of it down the line. My project Ripple 2020 demonstrates this desire and this piece. We pay entertainers. Now, I'm not attempting to be entertaining, but I do find, especially if you look back in some of my older videos where I'm juggling and singing and dancing and drumming and doing things when life was a little bit lighter, I know that there are people that are entertained to some degree with what I'm doing. And there are definitely skill sets that I have that could be framed or that I could bring to collaborative efforts to be, perhaps to put together ideas or projects that serve more than anything as entertainment for people out there. I have that ability and part of me as well. And finally, we see people out there making full-time livings as writers. When I first started my company, I started as a written blog for the better part of daily, for 4 months, every single day, for the most part. For 4 months, I was writing 15 to 1800 word blog posts. That's how my company started. That's how the website started. And it was pretty crazy how much traffic I was getting on the website and for how long people were staying, meaning they were reading those words. They were not just glimpsing, they were staying on the site long enough to read the entire entry, day in and day out. What I was writing was resonating with people. But what I quickly learned within 4, 5, 6 months was that my day-to-day life was not aligned to what I was writing. And I want to be more than words. I want to be living this. Now, I don't have yet anything published, although I have a walloping start on a number of written pieces. And I'm going to get one of those completed by early spring as well. It won't be anything huge, but I at least will be able to demonstrate what this part of me, and again, this is one piece of what I could be earning a living doing. One piece. These are skill sets I have in the practical world that I will be working to put out there more clearly. So what is it that AIN, Alyson Irene Noune LLC does? That's a little bit more of an explanation, and much more to come. Have a good day.